students, this topic is related to CMA US Part 1. Support Department Costing. In this video, I'm going to explain the difference between the three methods of service cost allocation. The three methods are known as the direct method, the step-down method, and the reciprocal. Let's start off with the direct method. Now, let's take an example where you have an IT department and a custodial services department which provide services to two production departments, production department A and B. Now, the costs of the service departments, that is, which is the IT department and the custodial services department, has to be borne by these two production departments. So, direct method, the main features are that it's very simple. And here, the service department costs, they are not shared among each other. Rather, they are shared only by the production departments or the operating departments. Thirdly, an allocation base appropriate to each service department's function has to be decided. Say, in this example, for IT department, we can say CPU cycles. That could be an allocation based upon how many CPU cycles the production departments use. We can allocate the cost or assign the cost. Custodial services, maybe we can take the floor space in square feet. Now, children, I've given this YouTube link here. So, in case you want to see this method being explained in a much greater detail, you can just follow that. Here also, I'm giving you one example because the question that I'm going to post today, it is based on this method. Second one is step-down method. In this, the service department expenses are not only shared by the production department, but it is also shared among each other. In the sense, like under the direct method, what is happening? Only the production departments are sharing the expenses, or the costs are being assigned only to the production department. But under the step-down method, the company decides whichever is the service department that is offering the maximum services to others, to the other departments, the cost of that particular service department, it is shared among the production departments and even the other service department which uses its services. The cost is, assigned to that service department also. I hope I'm clear about this. Then comes the reciprocal method. Under the reciprocal method, the costs of each service department, they are assigned between each other, and then those costs are assigned to the production departments. So here we have to find out a simultaneous equation. Based on that, we do the calculations. So when I explain the reciprocal method in another video, I'll be explaining it in detail. So this is basically the difference between the direct method, step-down method, and the reciprocal method. Let's take an example of the direct method of support department cost assignment. Now here, as I told you, we have taken an IT department and custodial services department as the service department or the support departments. And there are two production departments which would be sharing the cost of these departments. Now, since we are following the direct method, the service department costs will not be shared between themselves, but it will be shared only to it will be assigned only to the production departments. Now, let us see the support department expenses they've given here. 240,000 IT department, 60,000 custodial. Production department A has its own expenses, which is 200,000, and B has 100,000. So the total relevant cost is 600,000. Now, under the direct method, we are going to divide this 240,000 among production department A and B, and this one also among A and B. So this custodial services, as I told you, the allocation base is floor space or the square feet. So this production department A is consuming 63,000 square feet and B is consuming 27,000 square feet. IT department it is the allocation base here is CPU cycles. Production department A is consuming 30 million and B is consuming 18 million of CPU cycles. Now you have to divide these costs among production department A and B. So I've just done the calculation here. If you see here, we have done 63,000 divided by, now students, you just have to keep in mind one thing, that the total of these two, 63,000 plus 27,000, the departments which are going to share the cost, the total of those two only you will be taking as a denominator. So 63,000 divided by 90,000 into, now what is this? Custodial services. So that allocation basis square feet or the floor space. So in that case, you'll take the cost of the custodial services, which is 60,000. So 42,000 will be assigned to department A, production department, and production department B will bear 18,000. Now students, another way of calculating this will be, like you take 60,000 divided by 90,000, because this 90,000 is common in both the cases. So that will give you a particular rate. That rate into 63,000 will give you the same answer. Next comes the IT. Production department A, 30 million divided by the total of these two, 30 million plus 48 million, into what is the IT department cost? 240,000. So into 240,000 will give you 150,000. Here same way it will give you 90,000. So the total of these two is 240,000 here, 60,000 here. So the entire cost has been shared among production department A and B. So you'll see that it's 600,000 again, the total. So this is how you assign cost under the direct method. Now students, as I told you, every day you're going to get a question. So today's question is as I've given you a scenario about garden huts manufacturing. Please go through it. After you go through it, understand it, and then you can do the question. I would like all of you to just go through the question. This company manufactures garden huts, and indirect costs of all the three departments in the scenario has been given here in this particular slide. So go through that. Here, what I've just given you clue as to indirect labor, you will assign cost based on what will be your allocation base, its number of employees. Indirect material, you allocate it based on direct materials. Heating and lighting, floor area. Rent and rates, floor area. Depreciation of machinery, definitely it's a value of machinery. Supervisor's salary also, number of employees. Power, kilowatt hours. So these are the allocation bases that I've just written here. Next comes the departmental information as to how much each department, what floor area and other information that they are occupying and all is given here. Questions that follow is these 4 questions. So please try to attempt it and write in comments below if you have any doubts.